Hi, Elise.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good. You and I are the only ones?
Yeah, well, we've got a minute before the meeting is scheduled to start.
Ah,
Um,
hey, thanks for helping me out with that last week.
oh, you're welcome. And Myra's here. That
I
was real
am.
Good.
easy.
I
I am
There's
on this.
not enough coffee in the world that's gonna get me. This time change has so screwed me up.
So I was listening to a radio program where the disc jockeys were in disagreement about whether they're in favor or oppose daylight saving time. And I'm actually a lover of daylight savings.
I am too. I
Me
would do it
too.
all year,
Yeah.
except in this part of the country, it would work great all year. When I was in Rochester, New York, when they did it in 1974, and I had to go out and catch a bus at 8 a.m., my bus was at 8, and it was dark. It was
Oh,
pitch black. And
no,
that's only halfway through the time zone. If
Right,
if you go like to Indiana, where they didn't even used to do it, but now they
right,
do, it's like 8:30, it's still dark.
right, right.
ugh,
But in this part of the country, it's great to have it all year round.
Yeah.
I
But
love the extra sunlight.
yes. See, yesterday, I didn't mind this at all. Yesterday, I felt
Yeah,
so happy. It was so beautiful. We walked a mile and a half, which we
it
haven't
was
done in
beautiful.
months. And it was so beautiful.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I had sunlight in this. I have western windows and I had sunlight until 6:30 in the evening.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah,
just amazing. Yeah.
I am definitely a daylight savings lover. I would be horrified if they took it away from us in the summer. The sun would go down at 7:30.
Yeah.
That's not summer.
Right.
Mm, yep. On the other hand, I have a crosswalk that I had to cross to get to my tap dance class on Friday nights. And when it was dark out, it was extra scary.
Yeah.
Getting people it was terrible.
Where
So
is
I
it?
didn't. Right where the survival center bus stop is,
Aha.
there's a bad, I mean, I have so many lights on Tuesday and myself, and I have I survived it. I waited for people to really stop, but
Well,
it's so,
do you think it's a place there ought to be a rapid flashing beacon?
yeah, I do.
I don't know the intersection, but it would be good if we could really think about it.
Yeah, because a lot of people go to the survival center and a lot of people take the bus. I don't
Yeah,
know who uses it and who doesn't, but in order for me to get to my tap dance class twice a week, I have to, during the day, it's not as bad, but still cars really zoom right by. I mean,
yes,
there's
they
a
do.
crosswalk, but it's scary. And at nighttime, you know, it was really stressful.
Well, maybe, I don't know how much the installation of those is, but perhaps
Yeah.
that's something we could put in, Pamela, to talk to the town about for the next MOD grant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interrupt to say that Ian and Saren are here.
Oh,
Yay.
good.
And and then I'm going to step away from the camera for 1 second because I realize that my notepad is on
Oh,
the
I don't
other.
even know if my video is on.
Yep, we
It
can see you.
is.
Yeah. Hold
The
on
video
one
is on?
second.
You can,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Um, so you can see my orange shirt or whatever you call it. Coral. I don't know what color it is.
Girl.
Um, um, yeah. So and you're right, because of the survival center, and that does,
There's a
um,
bus stop and a bus shelter right there.
right, but we have to make the MOD grant
Yeah.
apply to people with disabilities.
Okay.
So
We can't say just that we need it
No.
for as the town. So we have to frame it as a project that'll enhance the lives of people with disabilities. I wonder if they have any data about people with disabilities there, because they're really not allowed to ask. So I wonder
Oh,
what kind of data they have. But
find
if we
out.
could find out, that
Yeah.
would be really good, because that sounds like a very good place. If we can't get it through an MOD grant, we ought to talk to Guilford about it.
I know somebody who works there. I don't know,
The one, like a volunteer or somebody
no,
who,
he
no,
volunteered and I think he has a job there now.
okay.
So
Well,
we're missing Jim and Cody.
yes.
I'm just gonna send them a quick email.
I'm actually thinking of volunteering there in the summer. I don't think so, though.
So is this tap dance class, does it accept klutzy people like me, or is you have to be good?
Well, this was an intermediate. It's not a
Oh, okay.
beginner. We're actually, they want the adult class in the school recital. So I'm in the midst of learning a 2-minute tap dance, and I'm getting on stage with 5 other women in June.
No, that's great. It's really good exercise.
It's
It,
fantastic.
it's frankly, it's very hard. You have to be coordinated, and I don't know
Yep.
that I am.
Possible. I mean, there are definite steps. Start out slow, you could probably do it. I mean, because a lot of it's by hearing and feeling. So
Yeah. Do they have they have beginner
they
class too?
have, well, they don't, you can do private lessons,
Oh, I see.
but they don't really offer a beginner right now.
Which school is it?
Pineapple dance.
Oh, okay.
There are other schools in other areas, but I can't get to them. So, and I've been tapping since 2016. So I was able to go do it. But no, they need to offer more for adults. I'll
Well,
let
I
you
need a
know.
class for klutzy adults.
I'll let you
All
know.
right, so Jim is here,
Okay.
which means that I think that we can get started.
Yay. Okay.
All right, so I am going to read the introduction. Pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, this meeting will be conducted via remote means. Members of the public who wish to access the meeting may do so via Zoom or by telephone. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. So
Okay.
we are ready. One thing that I just want to say is that we have a lot of very specific tasks to do today. So I'm going to try to make sure that we dot all our I's and cross all our T's, because this will be the final meeting of the Disability Access and Advisory Committee. So yay to you all.
So we're having a virtual party with a virtual cake. And Sarah, you've been on this committee, I think, since it began.
I know.
Which is unbelievable. It's like 34 years, I think.
Holy moly.
So do you have any parting statements about your accomplishments in that amount of time?
Well, I think the biggest achievement, in my opinion, is we got more part of the town better listened to. Before, they were not paying enough attention to our existence of what we stood for. So I feel like we're more involved now, so which is great. And also being able to look into the designs before it's too late. So that's a big achievement, in my opinion.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we look and
You
it's
have to
too
give
late.
a reminder. So
Yeah, no.
yeah.
I'm just saying sometimes they already made their decisions and did it. And then they
Yeah.
bring it to us and they go, oh, that would have been a good idea.
Yeah. But they're learning. I think,
Yep.
we're
Yep.
making a dent in there. So That's all I can remember. And I remember how we went years before, years ago, how we celebrated the renovations that made at the town hall. We thought that was the greatest thing at this time. Now we're looking at they're still behind in some things. So I remember the first elevator going up to the town hall. We have to go through the attic. No, not the attic, but the basement, and we had to go down a ramp and some creepy areas to get into a small elevator to go upstairs. So I have seen quite a bit of improvements since then.
Well,
And I'm
thank you.
glad-
So
No,
Myra, I'm
that's
gonna
great. Okay.
interrupt you just to say that we need to do our roll call.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
All right. Roll call. Let's see. Well, we know Saren is here. Elise Link,
Here,
Jim Cordinier. Are you here?
He's here.
he's muted maybe?
He didn't say anything. Jim, I think you're muted. Well, people see him, so I guess he's here.
Yeah, he's here.
Cody Rooney, are you here?
Jim looks like he's unmuted, but we can't hear him, so
Ah,
maybe some difficulty. I don't know if you need to go off and come back on, or
okay. Well, that was Ian Rodwell, so we know he's here. And Cody Rooney, are you here?
I don't see him here.
Cody's not here.
yet.
No.
Cody's not here. And I'm Myra Ross, and I'm here. So as soon as Jim gets his sound
logged out.
fixed,
Jim just probably,
he went out and he's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
back. Okay. Okay. Right. We can wait for him. I'm glad that I asked you, Saren, because you've been here since the very beginning, which is pretty amazing.
I know.
Through several town managers and several liaisons.
Yeah,
And, you know, I started to try to think about it, and I think you probably defined it as well as you can define it, which is we have a presence in the town consciousness that took a long time to develop. And I
yes,
think we do have it now. And now with the appointment of the new commission, I think we will continue to have it. Did Jim come back yet?
yes.
Yeah, he's here.
Jim, are you there? You're there? Let's see if we can hear you now.
Nope. No.
Oh. Huh.
Can you
Is it-
hear us, Jim? Yes, no.
Is he nodding his head?
Yes,
He-
he's gesturing that he can hear us, but we
Okay.
can't hear him. And we
Huh.
also, Cody just signaled to me that he will probably likely join us in a minute or two.
Okay, cool. But what are we going to do about Jim's connection there?
I'm not sure if I can guide him through the technical aspects of the connection. So looks like he's trying, but as long as he can hear him, and if he can maybe indicate by giving us a thumbs up or thumbs down.
He could send, we don't have the ability to put a chat in this,
No, we
right?
don't. They disable chat, but
Yeah, so-
but as long as he can hear us and he can indicate like either thumbs up or thumbs down for votes, then we should be.
But he might want to say something.
Yeah.
Can he, Pam, can he join us by telephone?
Phone.
Yes, he
Yeah.
could. Mhm.
Do you have
We-
your phone? Jim, you can go out and try to come in with your phone if you have it available. You can shake your head, yes or no.
I can't read his,
I don't understand.
I can't read his motion.
Uh-oh.
That's not clear whether,
Oh,
oh, he
he
went out
logged-
again.
He went out again.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe he's
So
coming
maybe
in
he's
with his phone.
The dial.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. All right.
Pam, I attended the presentation you did with League of Women Voters on DEI today, together with Philip. It was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh,
And
wow.
one example that Philip gave was very impressive. You know, like he says, equality.
Mhm.
And he's gave an example of what happened gave an example from his life. And he says they have a child, and if they're outside and the child needs to go to the bathroom, and they only have the changing stations at the women's restrooms, which is not right, because I sometimes would want to make the change to the baby's diapers. So that is what equality is. So
Equity.
I said,
Equity.
yeah.
Mhm.
And I said, that makes lots of sense. And many people just confuse it with the, what is that? The universities had that for entering. I just
Oh, affirmative action?
yes.
Okay.
And it is not that at all. It is wider than that.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, very, very nice example
Right.
he gave. Jim is back.
I am. Can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes, we
We
can.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Are you
I
on
had
your
to
phone?
go into settings. I was on a Zoom meeting a week ago, and there were no problems whatsoever. But today, I had to go into settings and open up Zoom for all the sound. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm back.
Well, you are, and you're very clear. So that's
Very,
great.
nice. Very good.
Okay.
All right.
So Pamela's going to walk us through the things we absolutely have to do, and then we can do the other things.
Right. So under, first we have on the agenda, are there any announcements?
Yeah. Last night I did go to the town council and thank them for appointing the commission. Thanked Athena and Paul and Pamela and Marty Smith for working on writing this charge. And I did talk about it as as something that we did in honor of Joe Tringali. So I mentioned that again. And I just thought it was an important thing for us to do at the end of the DAAC, just to keep our presence with them. And, they were pretty nice. They did this. They didn't fight it. Nobody voted against it. So I thought they deserved a thank you.
Wonderful. That's great.
And I also have announcements, which is that there are, and we'll talk about them later on the agenda, but there are invites from Northampton and East Hampton for information or collaboration with the, what will soon be the commission. And Cody has just joined us, so you're all here,
Yay.
which is great.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Cody.
Hi.
Hi.
Great. Everybody's here now and
Yeah.
everybody's computer works. Woohoo.
Mhm.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry, say that again.
I was going to say the first thing that I wanted to ask is if folks had an opportunity to review the documents that I sent, which were the charge and the appointments.
Yes,
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And I
And
made
there's
changes, right, Pam?
Yes.
Okay.
one discrepancy that I didn't notice, but it says in the minutes that we voted to become the Commission for People with Disabilities, and somehow that turned into persons with disabilities. And I don't know if it matters, but anyway, the minutes, our motion and vote in the minutes from February do not reflect what actually was done. And I'm sure it was just, I don't know where the people turned into persons, and I don't know if anybody cares, but I'm just pointing it out.
Mhm. So we can, we haven't approved those minutes yet, so they can be corrected
Good.
with an amendment.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
say probably that persons with disabilities is the more common expression.
Okay. Okay. Well, so we can change the minutes when we get there. Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
So I can bring up those documents, but I just wanted to check to see if anybody had any questions about either the charge, or would it be helpful for us to review the charge or the appointments?
we could review it, because we're going to have some obligations under the charge. We need to write an annual report. I don't know if we will have to this year because it's only going to be 3 months, but we need to find that out. And we'll need to write an annual report. And it says in the appointment document that we don't have to identify our particular disabilities or those of our family members, but we do have to identify whether we or anyone, any applicants would have to identify whether or not they have a disability or whether they are a family member of a person with a disability. So whereas the law says you don't have to, in order to be on this committee in the positions that are set aside for those people, you would have to. Um,
So I am
Disclose.
screen sharing now, and hopefully, oh, Ian has raised his hand. Ian?
I was just I have one minor change to make to my individual profile. It had me listed as a teacher, and I haven't been a teacher since 2019 or so.
Okay.
But so I can email you an updated profile.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So I have the committee charge up, and I'm just gonna go through it. So the committee says Commission for Persons with Disabilities, and the acronym will be CPD. Cody, you have a question?
He's muted.
Yeah.
There we go.
Also, my profile says I'm at Ohio Community College and I'm a human service major, and I haven't been there in a few years. I'm at UMass majoring in political science.
All right. So if you can email me I think the profiles were taken from the original documents that you guys submitted to apply to be on the Disability Access and Advisory Commission. And they were pulled together by Angela Mills, the town manager's executive assistant. But I'm happy to get her any corrections, and I'm sure they'll be happy to make those corrections.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank
which
you.
document are those on, Pamela?
They're not on the charge, they're on the other document. I have the
Yeah.
charge up now.
I mean, I saw my name and address, but I didn't see anything else about me.
Yeah. So when I bring up the second document, I can
Okay. Okay.
All right. So the so the committee charge, the name is Commission for Persons with Disabilities. The acronym will be CPD. The type of board is a town. The legal reference, which is the statutory support for the board, is Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 8J, and Mass General Law, Chapter 40, Section 22G. The appointing authority is the town manager in accordance with the homeroom charter. There will be 7 voting members. There are no non-voting members. There are no liaisons. The term of appointment is 3 years, and as in the past, those terms are staggered. There is one special municipal employee, and staff support is designated by the town manager. So I will be joining the commission as a member of the commission and as a voting member of the commission. So I will be the 7th person. So the next paragraph, which is the composition, basically states in verbal terms what I just described. The Commission for Persons with Disabilities shall be comprised of 7 members appointed by the town manager. A majority of the members shall be people with disabilities. 1 member shall be a member of the immediate family of a person with a disability. 1 member shall be either an elected or appointed official of the town. Members serve staggering 3-year terms. The terms of the first member shall be for 1, 2, or 3 years, and so arranged that the term of 1/3 of the members expires each year, and their successor shall be appointed for terms of 3 years. So the next section is the purpose. The mission of the CPD is to foster equal access to a life and activities for people with disabilities through education and advocacy. The CPD shall work to raise awareness about the needs of people with disabilities and the importance of increased accessibility to programming, housing, and facilities in municipal and commercial buildings and other public spaces. The CPD promotes adherence to Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, the Americans with Disabilities Act, Titles 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the U.S. Fair Housing Act, the regulations of the Massachusetts Architectural Access Board, and all other related federal, state, and town laws and regulations that require access and prohibit discrimination against people with disabilities. The CPD may provide information, referrals, guidance, and technical assistance on access issues to those requesting it. And then that section is followed by the charge. The charge I will not read. It is quite lengthy, but it is essentially the sections of the statute that we've spent quite a lot of time reviewing. And you remember that the town ultimately decided to accept the statute as it's written without any alteration. Things that are important in the charge is that we are to meet at least 10 times during the course of the year. Not a problem because we meet on a monthly basis. We are to review and respond to MAAB variance applications. So again, the work that you've been doing. And then review and make recommendations about policies, procedures, services, activities, and facilities of departments, boards, and agencies of said city or town as they affect people with disabilities. Encourage public awareness of disabilities issues. So that's just a review, a small summary of the charge. This new commission will report annually to the town manager. The charge was adopted on February 20th of 2025. So that's the charge. And I'm going to stop sharing that document.
I have it's too bad we can't do anything about this, but I didn't think of it till right now, but it doesn't say anything about access to documents. And that's certainly in the law, but there are other things listed there. And it doesn't say anything about, when I thought about, electronic, the website and documents aren't there, and they should have been.
Right. So I think that although they're not specified in the purpose, it does say all related federal, state, and town laws. And so I think that they would be covered under the federal laws that
Right.
dictate website accessibility and other documentation.
Right, as long as those regulations continue to exist. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can't argue with you on that.
No, okay,
So, all right, so that's the charge. I am now I'm sort of going through documents at the same time. Gonna now go to the appointments, and I will share my screen again. All right, so this is a memo to the town council clerk from the town manager that was dated March 3rd. And it reviews the appointments for the new commission.
It's not shared yet.
It's not? Oh,
No.
hold up. Sorry, thank you. Can you
Okay.
see it? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. All right. So it's a memo from the town manager to town council and reviews the appointments. So I'll just read the first paragraph. With this memo, I refer to the town council and simultaneously file with the town clerk the following names of persons I desire to appoint as members of the Commission for Persons with Disabilities in accordance with section 2.11B of the Amherst Homeroom Charter. Terms are effective immediately unless otherwise noted. So Jim is there for a 3-year term. Ian and Myra are listed for a 2-year term. Saren and Cody are listed for a 1-year term and a short term, Elise, because she'll be has elected to leave the board at the end of June. So she'll finish out this fiscal year and there will create a vacancy on the board. And then I am listed as an ex officio voting member for the commission. So it says in summary, and this is the town council adopted section chapter 40, section 8J of the Massachusetts General Laws, which provide for the creation of this disability commission. The attached committee charge was created in consultation with the Disability Access Advisory Committee and the town attorney. We agreed on a 7-member committee and named the new commission, the Commission for Persons with Disabilities. The duties of the commission are aligned with state law and with a footnote provided by the town attorney concerning membership requirements. And says all current members of the Disability Access Advisory Committee were asked if they were interested in serving on the new commission, and all members agreed to serve on this new body. 1 member agreed to serve until her term expired on June 30th, 2025. The appointments are staggered as stated in state law and the charge. This request for appointments includes those who agree to serve, plus the Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion as a voting ex officio member, which is included in the charge. There will be 1 vacant seat in July, and we will advertise for a new member. So Myra, it's following that section that
okay,
of each of the members. And this, I believe, is, some of the errors where there were errors in the profiles.
Yep.
And it's my thought that Angela took this information from the original applications for appointment to the Disability Access Committee. But as I said, she would be happy to correct that. So if there are any corrections, just please send them my way, and they will be, I'll pass them on to her and we can make those corrections. Following that document is the charge, which we just went over. So those are the the formal documents for the new commission. Right?
Okay.
Very
All
good.
right. So yay to you guys. Has come to fruition, which is great. And there's nothing formally that you need to do as far as like voting or anything like that. But I just wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to go over both documents. The second thing that's under old business is the website. Sam Gifford, who is the communication director, has prepared a basic website that she is ready to publish on Tuesday. So,
You mean a
the-
web page for the commission?
yeah, right, yeah, a
Okay,
web
okay.
page on the town's website.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The old site will be archived. So, and once, I guess for next month, what I would propose that we do is place website back on the agenda, and I can review that with you, and I can also send you the link in advance of that meeting. But she has a basic web page ready to go for the new commission.
And
Okay,
is that Tuesday next week or Tuesday today?
I think it'll be posted. Today's 11th. It may be posted later today.
Okay.
I'll double check. But yeah.
okay.
But once it's
We talked about taking out some of the links to other resources, some of which didn't work, and a lot of it was just superfluous. And I hope she keeps them out.
well,
I can
she
always-
has streamlined them quite a bit, and she has removed them. I'm actually going to see. I don't think it's here yet. I'm going online to see. Yeah, the old website is still up. So I'll have to talk to her about the changes that she's making for the new one. Although I can screen share again. See. All right. And even with the old site, you can see that she has,
It's not up
oh, it's still, I keep doing that. Thank you, Elise.
here.
All right. So here's the old site that's still there.
Mhm.
The ADA and the links page. So she hasn't removed anything from the old site, but as I said, it's going to be archived. And the new site has just, I think, in the preview that she showed me, I think there are only four links that are there. But I will send that out to everyone when it's updated. And
Oh, I only saw 3.
oh, well, there were a lot more down. Jim, you have your
Oh,
hand up?
okay, I didn't go far enough.
Yeah.
Great.
Jim?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned here, and perhaps I simply misunderstood the process. I thought we were going to give some feedback and be more involved. I'm assuming there are ways to improve the website once we see it, but again, I feel somehow there was a short circuit in the process. If I'm wrong, I apologize to everybody.
So no, I think it's so perhaps I can explain a little bit. I think it's mostly timing. So the old website, which you did provide a lot of feedback on, and basically the message was a lot of those links don't work, and some of the information it isn't really necessary or helpful. That old website has to come down, and then the new website has to go up pretty much simultaneously in order for us to comply with the open meeting laws. And so what Sam has created is a website, or web page, I should say, that's ready to go up at the moment that the old web page comes down. There will still be an opportunity to give feedback and advice. It's not necessarily written in stone, but she needed to have everything ready to go so that the moment one came down, the other one would go up. And the same thing is actually, we'll talk in a minute about the minutes. I've already sort of created behind the scene a dummy place for the minutes for the new commission, because once the committee is dissolved, all of that information will be archived, and then we'll be directing people to the information for the new commission. So please don't feel that that you're not going to have an opportunity to provide additional feedback, or that the website is written in stone. It's not. It's simply that we have everything ready to go so that when one comes down, the other one comes up. So.
I guess I don't think we're anywhere near done with this website. This web page is one thing, but the whole website is a whole other thing. And couple weeks ago, I tried to access something. It's the way that the website was formatted. You could find out what the item was for the calendar, and the way that it was created with a screen reader, you couldn't figure out where or when it was. The information is there, but the way that they wrote it, you couldn't get at it with a screen reader unless you knew how to get at it. But it wasn't done right. And she admitted it. And what she said at the time was really interesting. She doesn't do that work. They have an outside company that created the website in accordance with the information that they were provided that needed to be on it. But their accessibility, and I am sure this does not conform to WCAG website content, whatever it is. The website is not entirely in compliance with the law. And Pamela, I'm sorry, Samantha can't fix it because she doesn't control the coding of it. And so it's going to be a sort of interesting thing to get it done, because they didn't write it from scratch. I mean, that's a really tough thing to do. They didn't write it properly from scratch. So they're putting Band-Aids on it. And so we have to find all the Band-Aids that they have to put on, but she can't fix it. She can only tell them to fix it. Seems to be the way that I understood that interaction. Is that what you understood as well, Pamela?
Yeah, so we have an external vendor that provides the software for the website, for the town's website. And so, yeah, she is, oh, I just got an email from Sam that she's about to send out the press release for the new commission. So she'll be changing. So she will be changing the website shortly. Yeah, should happen sometime today. So yeah, so Sam doesn't have control over the software that's controlling many of the functions, and so she's working with our vendors. She's pointed out that the error to the vendors, and we'll be working with them to correct it. And in the meantime, she did send out to all of the department heads who would be responsible for putting information on the town's website a workaround that should hopefully address the problem that Myra identified.
Right. So I'm just saying, as the only screen reader user, the site wasn't tested appropriately by a screen reader. Like the way they do this is they have these programs that they put in that make the site accessible once, like they don't take it apart. They can't. They don't take it apart and rewrite it appropriately according to the rules of how you're supposed to write websites. So they have these things that are overlays, that pick up a lot of stuff for sure. But they don't pick up everything. And they are supposed to have human testers after they do these overlays. They're supposed to have human testers to go in, and there are people who are trained to be testers. It's not just something that you can do without learning what to look for and how to find it. Anyway, so the whole notion of working on this website is going to be, from the content perspective, that seems to be Sam's job. But from the code and accessibility perspective, that is not her job, which I didn't really understand about until about 2 weeks ago. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood it the way I think it is now. Is that accurate, Pamela?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Because all along I thought that she was the coder as well, and
No.
she's not. Okay. All right. So we will get back to the website. And I don't know if they're ever going to have a tester at that company. It's not that bad. Most of it's usable. It's not easy. It's cumbersome, but if you have enough time, you can find what you want. With a screen reader. All right. We need to talk about, should we do the minutes?
Yeah, the minutes. And so I think
Okay.
you'll
So we
probably
need-
need a motion
yeah,
to amend
to
the minutes.
amend,
Mhm.
yeah. To the word people to persons. Somebody want to make that motion?
So move.
Great. Okay, we need a second.
I'll second.
Excellent. Okay. So, all in favor of that amendment to the minutes, please say aye.
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 All opposed to the change, the amendment? Okay, so the amendment is good. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes? Okay, then I need a motion to approve the minute.
I'll move. We approve.
Okay, and a second?
I second.
Cool. Okay, all in favor of approving the February 25 minutes?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Any abstentions? No, it sounds like everybody, excuse me, is voting to approve the minutes. All right, so we have our final minutes, and we need someone to approve of the minutes of today's meeting so they can go into the archive before the next meeting, which will not be this group anymore. It will be the group, but we will not be constituted the same way we are now. We're just going to look the same, but we won't be. Okay, so is there someone who would like to take on examination of today's minutes and approval for the group before the next meeting? Before the first meeting?
And sorry, that just consists of reading the minutes and like,
Yeah, so I would
Just
send,
so-
I would be responsible for sending you the minutes, and then you'd review them and indicate to me that they're approved, and then they could be posted and close out the work of the committee.
that's for the minutes from February, or
That, no, the
Today.
minutes
From
from
today.
The minutes
today's, from
from today,
today's
okay.
meeting.
I'd be happy to do that.
Okay,
Okay,
all right, thank you.
Ian, I'd like you to make sure that you include the fact that Sam does not code the
Oh, right.
website, that she's just responsible for content. Because for me, that's a big deal, because it's hard to know who to talk to when you can't, I mean, she can give a message to someone to fix it. And then she gave a workaround message everybody might or might not adhere to the workaround message. And so it's unfortunate that she can't actually fix things herself and that she has to rely on other people who may or may not do what she asks. So I think that's an issue.
Is this us looking at the website from an access point of view? It encompasses all the problems in the website, not for people with disabilities, but for all the users maybe. Like I have something that I really am challenged every time I go there to pay my bills. At the very top, there is this thing, it rotates so fast. Like, why am I there at the website? And it just takes a second for me. I have to punch to pay bills. You know, it just goes so fast.
So Sam is the correct person to point that out to, because she's in charge of all of those things.
Oh, she can do that?
Right. So I don't know whether she would be able to slow down the actual function, right? But she's the person that we should direct all these questions to, because she, working either with a software vendor or IT, would be the folks who could get to a solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say just email her or you can email me and I can forward it to her.
Okay. All right.
And I'm sure that is an issue for some people with disability. Yeah. I mean, it's a visual thing and it's a cognition thing. You have to think it fast enough to be able to move. And so it is related, maybe not to your disability, but you're picking up on something that is related to disability.
It would be.
And if you don't click it at the right minute, then you have to wait until it comes again, and you have to make sure that you click it again. So
Story of my life.
Why would they do it like that?
Because they don't think.
Well, I think there are people who think visually, 100% visually, and they're artistic and they think things are cool that really aren't. But that's part of the whole old way to write a website. That's what I'm saying. They didn't go in from the ground level and write it to be accessible. A lot of websites are written to be cool and artistic, and that doesn't work all the time.
And you know, user-friendly is the approach that they should have. And this really isn't. Some of
So I think now that we know that Sam, I mean, this is not the agenda item, but I think it's important. Now that we know that Sam really has only advisory control over what people should fix, because they might or might not do what she's asking them to do correctly in a way that works, right? I mean, she could define it and they might or might not be able to achieve what she's asking them without, so I think she's an intermediary. And so I think we need to be vigilant in letting her know what the company that we pay. The town hires this website developer company to do the work that the coding work that she's asking for. And I want to make sure that we are aware that she's doing it. It's unfortunately work for us that ought to be done by the coding company as part of their job to make accessible websites. It should not be our job to find every little code mistake. And I think that's something we need to talk about with Sam.
Well, I'm happy to invite her to the next meeting, and she can review the new website and any other issues that you want to bring to her attention.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Great. What else do we need to do, Pamela? Is there anything else? Oh, we need to talk about East Hampton and Northampton.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So under new business, the first thing was the February meeting, and then the second was the appointment of Ian to review the March minutes. The next thing on the list is the Northampton Commission on Disability invitation to co-host an event in July. So we received.
They
go
want,
ahead.
they want to show, well, I mean, they suggested that one thing we could do is each show a disability related film in our town and, you know, cross advertise them. And, you know, just, I mean, it's a minimal, collaboration, but it is the beginning of a collaboration. I still think that meeting we went to was very useful a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
And,
I agree.
and I think it would be good. I don't know what movies they have in mind. Do you, Pamela?
They have not shared the movies that they have in mind. I think I did write Amy to ask her like if she could provide with more information. And so in her message to me, she said, each of the three towns, Northampton, Amherst, and East Hampton, would show a film in their town during July. That Northampton would take responsibility for creating the flyer for the group, and that they would collectively, you know, all the towns would collectively advertise. They've brainstormed some films, but they haven't selected one because they're looking into the licensing agreements. And she stated, like, we have no budget, so location and film should be free. But I would say that the Disability Equity and Inclusion Department has a small budget, so we could certainly support, you know, if there were costs, as long as it were reasonable and provision of snacks. That's something that our office could
Oh, wow.
could cover. And the next year, you guys will have money in the bank because you will have gotten money from
Parking
the
money,
right,
right.
exactly. So so that will be things that
So where could we even show a film?
So in the past, we've shown films here in the Bangs community, the large activity room in the community center. We've set
You
up
can make that dark enough?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
it's not the best location in the world, but it will work, and we've done it before. Yeah.
I
Okay.
wonder if Amherst Cinema has some times that they could devote to these activities, you know, with the
It's a possibility.
with an acknowledgement.
Yeah, as long
you
as
know,
it's
for
not
the
when they
film.
show a movie. So it'd
Yeah,
have to be a time that they don't.
And
That's
Jim
an
has his
interesting
hand
idea.
raised.
Okay, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, this may be a stupid question, but why are they having it in July
That
when
was my question as
nobody's
well.
around? You know, or potentially there are far fewer people around.
I agree with you completely. It was exactly what I was going to say if you didn't
Yeah.
say it.
I think July is Disability Pride Month, isn't it?
Exactly. That's why. Yeah.
Oh. Disability Pride Month. Well, there we go. Well, I guess that's why they want to do it in July, Jim. But you're absolutely right. It's the worst month of the year to do it, other than August.
Well, we could piggyback with the Rotary Club for an August event. You know, they have their fair and then we have the movie at the fair. Anyway, that's a
Wait, what fair? Like oh, you mean like the town fair?
common fair, yeah.
Oh yeah, we could do it on the Ferris wheel. Everybody could have their little videos up there while they're waiting to get flipped around.
So I think one reason probably for the collaboration is that there would be an event each of the, well, 3 of the 4 weeks in the month. And so there would be the possibility that people would maybe travel to different towns to, so even though folks are away on vacation, there's that option. So, so what Amy
Well,
is,
if it's an official month
Mhm.
that somebody else designated, I guess there's a reason to do it then. What do you think, Jim?
I'm easy about this kind of stuff. It just struck me as odd, that's all.
I agree. All right, so we should inform them that we're in,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And that we would be happy to see the list of films that they have come up with. Can anyone in this room think of a film that you would want to show or you'd want to make sure is considered for show? I am not a movie person, so I don't know very much about movies.
I don't know about disability. I don't know. I do watch movies, but I don't know what's out there.
Does it have to be about this? I mean, does it have to be like what they showed the last time was the Judy Human movie, The Crip Camp,
Yeah.
which was, explicitly written to make a point, but does it have to be like a documentary kind of thing like that? Or could it be like a fictionalized film that deals with the topic well, or doesn't deal with it well, and then could have a conversation? I don't know. Does anybody have any
Um,
ideas?
I'm wondering, does it have to be about a specific disability, like one, or does it have to be about all disabilities? You know,
I don't know that it matters. I mean,
Um,
I think it's open.
because I'm wondering, I don't know, this is very far-fetched, and I'm not gonna be around. I mean, I'm off the committee by then, I mean, the commission by then, but I'm wondering if, for instance, like Guide Dogs for the Blind has a movie, a film about traveling, blind or something like that. I mean, that's just far-fetched.
Do they have one, or you're wondering if they have one?
I could look into it. I could find out.
That's where you got your dog. Yeah, you
Yeah.
could write to them and find out. It doesn't even have to be their movie, but it could be that somebody created
They
a
would
film.
know. Yeah. I could,
So,
you know what?
I mean, a documentary of some kind.
Yeah, I'll ask about that.
Yeah, people might be interested in that.
Yeah.
There are because the whole thing about puppy raising, and
Mhm.
then they get, like they get people to take the dogs as puppies.
There
And
is an
then,
actual documentary called Pick of the Litter, where it takes you through puppy raising and then training the dog back at the school and then placing it.
well, there you
Mhm.
go.
There is a documentary called Pick of the Litter,
That might be something we should make sure that they put on the list,
and it's a
because people
great
love dogs,
movie.
and that would be cool. Yeah.
It's a really wonderful movie, and it's been shown, a lot of people have seen it, but putting it back on there, should go on the list.
Okay. Anybody else have
Yeah.
any idea? Good idea, Elise. Thank you. That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
This
it's
is why you should not leave us, Elise.
No, it's life. I have life stuff going on. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. You can come back anytime.
Okay.
Okay. So, the question, does anyone know of any other films that might even be able to get general interest?
It's tricky in some ways because a lot of films have disability as sort of a central topic. A disability is a central topic, but a lot of people find them offensive for whatever reason.
Yep.
I don't know. It was, what was it? Doesn't matter. That Scent of a Woman movie about the blind guy, was it Al Pacino? I can't remember, but anyway, which was wildly unrealistic. But in any event, but there was a movie a few years back called, I think it was The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, about a man who had had a really, really severe stroke, I think it was, and it really limited his ability to communicate, and then how he dealt with that and the people around him. But it's really hard to say.
CNN just recently did a thing about Christopher Reeve. But I don't know that that's the kind of thing we could even show. And it's still current, so it would be real expensive.
Hmm.
Well, I will
Yeah.
be in touch with Amy and let her know that you guys are a yes, and asked if she can share the list of films.
And
Yeah.
ask her to make sure
Yeah.
Pick Up the Litter is on it.
Yeah, I'm
Right.
sure
Yeah.
I'm sure people can, it's not offensive, it's people love it, and I'm sure there's a way to get a hold of it. Because it's been on like Netflix and other, you can rent it, I've rented it.
Cody has his hand up.
Okay.
I don't know if it's published yet. I do know it's out there, but it's a movie called The Ride Ahead, which is a life story of this young man in a wheelchair. I've actually met him last summer at a conference. So,
Okay, so
Did you say you met him?
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Can you repeat the name of the film again?
The Ride Ahead.
The Ride Ahead.
The Ride
Yeah.
Ahead.
Mhm.
Did you say you don't know if it's been put out yet, or is it available, or is it?
I do know that they've been showing it with him there in person, so I just don't know if we need to invite him and his dad, or we can just show it.
Oh, it's
So
like a private movie?
It's a documentary, and it
yeah,
was
I
2024.
mean,
Oh, you just looked it up?
Yeah, and
On-
it's 1 hour and 37 minutes long.
On
Oh,
the website, they have a way to host a screening.
Okay.
Oh, really?
okay.
That
So
seems like a-
Pamela, there's two movies to
Right,
suggest to
that's
them.
very true. That's two
Wow.
good
And
options.
then they say, in the website, not website, but on the Google, it says other related movies, My Disability, which was 2022. And so there are a couple of things. Maybe we should take some time and look into this ourselves, and then come up with recommendations to our next meeting.
Well,
There's
I
still
think we can,
lots
I
of
think she wants us not to wait that long because she's
Ah.
doing it in July and she wants to put it together. But we are making two recommendations, and that's pretty good because I only want three movies. So, Cody, you know the movie that the gentleman that this movie is about?
I'm not personally, but I've met him before.
Oh, you've met him, but you don't know him. I was just wondering if it would
Yeah,
be somebody we
yeah.
could get to come and talk after the movie because it would be pretty personal.
Yes, he does live in New Hampshire, so, and they definitely do travel all over, so that's a avenue we could explore.
We might have to pay him though. We have to find out.
On
Yes.
on the website, it also says contact us to have Samuel and Dan discuss the film with your group, workplace, conference, or school. And it also says, thanks to our funders, we're able to distribute a limited number of free education kits on a first come, first served basis.
Oh, wow. Cody, or does anybody have, is it where, can you see what service? It's like Hulu or Netflix or anything that it's on? Does it say on there?
It says conference screenings and non-public professional development events. Oh wait, hold on a second. In order to be eligible for a kit, you must commit to hold one in-person film screening and discussion. Only K through 12 public schools and nonprofits with an annual operating budget of 1 million or less. Do
That's
we count
us.
as a nonprofit or no?
I think they didn't exactly mean that we would be excluded.
Right.
I think they just didn't think about it.
Yeah, the conference I was ran by a nonprofit. So yeah.
Well, we're not a nonprofit, but we're not an education. We could contact them and find out.
Right.
Did you see the movie, Cody?
Yes.
Did you think it was good?
Definitely. It's very well done.
I wonder if we should contact them. Well, I think we should put them, I don't know. My thought is we should put those two movies on the list for Amy.
So I've just sent you links to the websites for Pick of the Litter and the Right Ahead. And according to an IRS directive, governments, municipalities can be considered nonprofits. So I would say that it would be worthwhile for us to attempt to contact him and see if they would. They're likely to say yes. I can't imagine they're going to say no. So does it?
Probably the first thing is to just send the two names that, that we want to participate in, that these are two films that we strongly suggest.
All right.
Do I need to do anything about getting, I don't know about getting permission to show Pick of the Litter or whatever? I mean, is there anything I need to do? Or can that just be shown? I don't know.
If it's on Netflix, I'm sure you don't.
I don't know if it's still on. You know what? I'll take a look and see. It was on Disney for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Then it's pretty public domain if you pay for it. I don't think you need permission.
Okay, because I also rented, like when it was like shown at Emerson, it was shown at movie theaters all around when it first came out. So.
Okay, then I'm sure it's available. We just have to, you have to pay the streaming fee or whatever it would be.
Yeah, I remember renting it too when it first came out. So yeah, okay. So I don't have to do anything.
I think that's cool that we have two ideas, even though it's July.
Yeah.
We might even have to make, they seem to like to do things on Tuesdays, the Northampton group, because that's when they have their meetings. But I guess any of that would be up for negotiation. Each town could pick its own showing date and everything.
Right.
But okay, so we want to do that. Now, East Hampton, they want something very different. And Pamela, did you find somebody to do this?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be me. So we received a request from East Hampton. They wanted to find out information about the
playgrounds.
The newly designed playgrounds, the more accessible playgrounds. And so I reached out to Rec, to Ray, and to Guilford. And it turns out that Guilford is and DPW have information, and I think Guilford's going to have one of his staff members attend their meeting, which is on Zoom and is tomorrow. They also wanted someone
Thursday.
Thank you, Thursday.
Don't go tomorrow.
Yeah. someone from this group to speak to them about the work of this group. And initially Myra thought that she was going to be available, but she is not. So, and
I also don't know anything about the playgrounds.
yeah, I think they said in the last communication, she was thinking just more general information.
Oh, okay.
About the group. So if there's somebody who would be willing to do that, it's at 11 o'clock on Thursday. I'm happy to send you the information. Otherwise, I said that I could be there at 11, but I have to give my little portion during the first 15 minutes because I have a noon commitment and I have to prepare for that.
Is there anybody who wants to go to the East Hampton meeting and tell them about the DAAC, the transition to commission? I don't know what they want, but I actually have a commitment from 10 to 12 on Thursday, so I cannot do it.
Can't either.
Cody has his hand.
I can do it.
Okay.
Great.
Oh, so you
Great.
could go with Pamela. That would be great.
All right. So Cody, I will send you the information after this
Excellent.
meeting, and it is on Zoom. So
Okay, cool. So,
Okay.
oh, the only other thing is the MOD grant opens on May 1st. So there's still time and it closes like June 15th or something. And we would have to make some kind of, or we could make some kind of recommendation about what they might, what the town might want to apply for. So earlier, Elise came up with an idea about
Yeah,
a rapid flashing beacon at North Pleasant Street. And
it's in
at-
North Amherst, actually. Oh,
yeah, North Pleasant and what street is that?
I don't know exactly, but it's the right in front of the Survival Center, Amherst Survival Center.
I suppose the
That one.
first thing we could do is contact Guilford and ask him if that's
Yeah.
anything he would consider doing or has the funding to do or how much it actually costs.
It's
And the other
terrible.
thing is the parking in front of the Munson Library
Mm,
was initially included in the proposal, or that was seems to have been included or was supposed to have been included in the proposal that was not funded 2 years ago, but somehow it didn't get into the proposal that was funded last year. So they have spaces, but none of them are van accessible. And that's not what was supposed to happen. So we could try to get that as well. And maybe Guilford, I don't know, he didn't seem too excited about it when he was here at the last meeting.
he's never
Um,
excited. Sorry. I'll
so
put my snark away. Sorry.
so I do have a couple of updates along that line. So
Okay,
Chris
cool.
Brestra sent an email out to Rob Moran, Jeremiah LaPlante, Nat Malloy, and Dave Zomek and other people in the planning department about the announcement for the MOD grant. So I know, Myra, you were concerned about them being alerted to the grant application process. And so they've all been alerted to that. The other question that you had was whether there were any projects that were being specifically designated for ADA in the capital budget planning. And so I did reach out to Dave Zomek and to Guilford Mooring and got a response back from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Guilford said that he hasn't designated any project specifically, but there will be working on sidewalks that to meet the ADA requirements, and they're asking for $50,000 through the capital planning project this year. So that was Guilford's response. Dave Zomek sent back a pretty detailed response. So that they're putting forth one large request for building improvements towards the town's facilities. The work that they would, the facilities or the buildings they're looking to enhance are Munson, Town Hall, and Bangs. That he noted that Jeremiah LaPlante, who's the facilities manager, is working on smaller ADA projects with the funding that he has already received. And then some examples, these were not specific, like they weren't carved in stone, but some examples of the other capital funding that they're trying to leverage would include conservation trails, projects from the town of Amherst, the Community Development Building Grant, and a state grant that have already been secured, so they're going to do some work there. The town recently authorized $2.8 million for renovations at Bangs, and some of that funding will be used to address some ADA issues. He mentioned the sidewalks that Guilford had already mentioned, and he wrote that the Community Development Building Grant Advisory Committee just voted to recommend funding for sidewalk and crosswalk improvements around Kendrick Park, and a new accessible restroom at Kendrick Park would be planned for the spring. So those were some examples. It does not make reference to Elisa's suggestion, so I think I can be in touch with them and add that to their list or make that known, or we can invite either or both of them to attend the next meeting
Great.
of the new commission.
Yeah, Elisa's suggestion and also the van accessible parking in front of Munson Library.
Okay,
I mean, because the state is spending a lot of money, giving us a lot of money to make the library accessible. But if you're driving a van to get there, there's nowhere for you to park your van so you can get into the Munson Library or
That's
get
right.
out of it. It's actually not a small
Yeah.
point. And it was in the original proposal and somehow it vanished.
Oh no, we gotta bring that back. Yeah.
I have one thing that is in my mind, and the school entrances, those rotaries between Main Street and College Street. That discussion was so hot for a while, and now it has calmed down, and I hear nothing about it. So what is an update? Maybe we can include that in our next month's agenda.
Good idea. I think what he said, what Andy Steinberg said, was that the company was coming up with an alternative plan. The consultants that they hired were developing an alternative plan that included some of the concerns that were raised about accessibility and pedestrians and other things, and that they were going to take some of the common away in order to make it a little bit easier. And I guess they don't have that yet. Is that what you think, Pamela?
Well,
Oh, Sharon, you're going to say something?
Well, what I was going to say, there was a meeting that I was kind of disappointed that we were not part of it. And it was that with that group that is in charge of this, overseeing this, and the transportation committee. And I found out, Pamela, you sent me, I was wondering what is happening with that meeting. And then you send me the link to join that on Zoom. And at that point, I remember Guilford saying, now I have to find the money to do that. So what money he was talking about, what design, and so I just want to know what is going on.
Okay.
We were never part of that. The future plans, the
right,
future plans.
So I have not followed up with following where they are in the process, but
Mhm.
I'm happy to reach out to Guilford or to invite Guilford to the next meeting. It seems that there are a couple of things that you want to bring to his attention, so that might be
Mm,
a wise
yeah.
thing. So
Yep.
right now I'm thinking that we have invitations out for Guilford and to Sam is,
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
All
idea.
right. So is there any unfinished DAAC business?
Oh, well, one other question that comes to my mind. In this new DP, what is that? No, CPD.
Right.
Do we have any contact information? The reason that is something always an alarm in my mind is I remember how the town for the town hall applied for variance and they got a response, but we never got that response in time, or that's why they got the waiver. So, I mean, the variance. And is there a specific contact we can add, like all correspondence, or it could be somebody, a resident who might have a problem and want to discuss something. How would they reach us? Like,
Right.
is there a specific contact information we can put in our website?
so the website lists me as the staff liaison and as the contact person. It does that currently. And the new one would as well.
And how to reach you, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
It has, I think, both the email address and a telephone number.
Yeah. I wonder if we should notify Architectural Access Board that information update,
So-
because I know an independent living center, Stavros, gets notices,
Mhm.
and I don't know who else gets it, but sometimes it just misses us.
So we seem to have lost Myra, but I will say that Myra and I had quite a number of email exchanges with someone at the Mass Architectural Access Board a
Mhm.
few months ago, and to make sure that they were well aware of who the contact person were. So we've done that.
Oh, great.
So we should be receiving information from them directly, but because I think, I cannot remember the issue now, but I think it's at least 2, maybe 3 months ago, there was another missed communication from the access board. And at that time, I contacted them directly to say, this is the second time that there has been a decision rendered where we didn't receive any information. I just want to make sure that I review the protocol and that you're aware of whom you should contact to provide us with information. So
Yeah,
Sarah was just asking whether the Mass Architectural Access Board had a good contact information for the committee, soon to be commission. And I was sharing that a couple of months ago, you and I had both contacted them to make sure that they were up to date with that information.
that's good. That's great.
Okay.
Oh, hi. My computer completely shut down. I have no idea what happened. All right. So I think they have good contact information now. We do need an update at some point, but they said it wouldn't come soon about what they were going to fund. Oh, there's another thing we could ask them about: funding the study to figure out how they can make the entrance accessible to town hall. Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's another thing that we could ask them for. I don't know what we're more likely to get money for, that or flashing beacons or parking spaces. I don't know. But, and I don't even know how much probably the study costs more than any of the rest of it, although that might not be true. But anyway, we have some things to do and not enough money, but then that's the story of everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did they get $2 million for a roundabout and yet we can't have enough money to do these other things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That pisses me off, sorry.
You mean the debacle over there on Southeast Street?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. The pre-planning for that particular street was not good. It should
And they
have,
got the money. Yeah,
well, did they?
I thought they did, maybe not.
I don't know how they're going to fund that.
Yeah.
I
Ian
know that
has his-
I know they're very, very worried about it and upset about it.
And roads.
It could have been
Another big
included in the, debt exclusion override for the school if somebody had even thought about the fact that the road, the access, right? You build the school, there's no
Mhm.
access. You make the building at Munson Library accessible, but you don't put the van accessible spaces there. You make the inside of town hall accessible, but people who don't have someone to push them up the sidewalk can't get into it.
Yeah.
It's all sort of the same thing.
Right,
It's
so
their
Ian
partial.
has his
Okay,
hand raised, yeah.
I was just hoping to add an agenda item for next month.
Mhm.
Back in the fall, in I think September or so, I had raised the issue that I was working on proposed bill legislation with Representative Sabadosa on mask accessibility. And so we have Representative Sabadosa introduced that, and I was wanting to add the agenda item of a resolution that I'll write this month, that we could propose to the town council, and vote on that next month to send to them.
what is she
So
proposing?
there's two bills. One is an amendment in the state Senate, and then this other one is a new bill in the state house. And it is, if it passes, it would be the first of its kind in the country. Essentially making mask bans illegal. And making masks making mask bans illegal.
Okay,
So,
Um,
Ian, I would just ask that if you could, if you're able to send it to me, ideally a week before, so that we can just send it out to the
Sure.
commission
And
members, and they'll have a chance to review it
I can send
before
you
the
the
meeting.
two. I can send you the two bills today, and then the
Okay.
resolution before the meeting.
Okay, that'll be great. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So it is now 1:02,
we're
and
done.
normally I would not hurry you guys along, but I have another meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, I have to go also.
Well, this has been, I think, a very worthwhile committee, and the commission hopefully will have an even greater impact. So we will see you all on April 8th, and we will constitute the commission. So think about if you want to be chair, vice chair, secretary, any of those things. People will have to be elected. Goodbye until then.
A motion to
Okay.
adjourn.
Thank you.
Adjourn.
Right.
All right.
Thank
And
you.
a second on the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Ian moved it. Anybody not in favor of adjourning, say aye.
All right. Well, congratulations once again.
Unanimously.
Yeah.
Thank
All right.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye now.
bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.